We are going to teach you how to install a vise. In this video specifically, an Eclipse 7-inch woodworking vise. Very important to remember, most vices all get installed differently. So Horace, will you please give us a rundown of the tools that we are going to use to install this vise and the process?
The alternative to creating the recess pocket, you can set the vise up on the face, and then it's pretty much 4 bolts in you go and 2 screws on the face, and that would hold it in position. The benefit of that, because some people would opt for either depending on how much work you want to do. If you need to get this up and ready to use in 10 minutes, a face mount in a temporary position is the answer. Otherwise, we go in, we do a little bit of woodwork, because that's really what we enjoy. In order to get this particular vise mounted, we're going to need a few things. First of all, we're going to need a drill with an 8mm drill bit. You'd size that accordingly with the coach bolt that you're going to use. We're going to need a couple of fender washers. We're going to use a nut driver and the impact driver just to set those coach bolts in position when we mount that. We've got a trim router with a pattern bit. And then what's going to happen is the bearing that is on the router is going to follow the outline of the pattern that we've created.
The next step is going to be Miles taking the Psychoki router, cut out the recess for the faceplate.
So all we've done is we've taken the coach bolt, set it through, and the part that sticks out there where the threaded section is, we've just marked out on a drill bit so we don't over drill, because if we take the drill and then we test it to the side of the workbench, we're going to see how deep we're going to go. We make sure we don't come through the surface in that sense, and we're good to rock and roll. Time for the impactor. Just gotta get them. There we go. In like flint. So quick release, quick close, there we go. For woodworking, what you've got is you've got this little pin here. I would change that out. That's what we have inside there, that block. All you need is just that little lip to hold it in position. There we go. So if we had to set up bench dogs, we could have a row that runs 90 degrees perpendicular to this point, straight up the table. And if you want to put a board in there and work it long ways with a hand plane or electric plane or scraper or whatever the case may be, even sanding, if you want to jam something in so you can put biscuits or dominoes, perfect for that. So what we have now is we've got the vise installed. Now what one could do after we've cleaned up the residue CA glue and final sanded, one could put a piece of cork across, and just to give you a little bit of protection just in case you've got any metal sticking out there. On the front side here, we're going to put a faceplate in. This is just an example board, but you have the option of recessing it here as well, or you could just put a strut right across. Again, you've got the dog adjustment, which is a useful tool. Opens and closes nice and smooth. I don't think there's any issues in that. And then your quick release, you can hear it engage tight. There we go, fixed. So if we open that up, we won't give it a test to see if we can lift the workbench, because we're not really testing that, but there we go, nice and tight. You must probably rock everything else but the workpiece. That's just with the metal grip. Yeah, so with that said, there's an Eclipse woodworking vise, 7-inch, whatever that is in millimeters, I'm not certain. 176 or 178. Close. Yeah, we look forward to continuing this build. We've got a few things coming up, so stay tuned. Cheers.